So I was the side chick once, and I knew I was his side chick. He was my side dude, and there was no responsibilities attached, and I had a good time.
Although Jeannie Mai isn't in your life, you're doomed if you do. Relationships are difficult. It's easy to understand why rapper Jeezy filed for divorce from her only 2 years after their nuptials. Since you don't have any obligations, it's safe to conclude that the majority of people support Jeezy in his recently announced divorce with Mai, including Tamara Mowry, her co-host.
The side chick, did you ever feel for his girlfriend? Girl, I was pre-Jesus Jeannie. I didn't care about no other hooches.
Absolutely not.
Wait, why is she a hooch though? Why?
You see, that's the reason I married white guys. I appreciate that. Online, a lot of people criticized Mai for fetishizing black males, especially when she calls them dark men. Thousands of individuals also objected to how brazenly and carelessly Mai uttered what she said. She casually admits to enjoying having a black man as a side piece to satisfy her interest in black males. In addition to casually referring to men as meat, she is furious that her co-host took her remarks in that direction. But how else should they be taken? Internet users were quick to reply, with one tweeting that Jeannie Mai fetishized black guys, in addition to Tamara and my co-hosts criticizing my live show. Jeezy eventually realized the truth, according to court records obtained by Life and Style. The rapper from the scene at all filed for divorce from Jeannie on September 14, 2023, in Georgia's Fulton County Superior Court. He asserted that there was no chance for reconciliation because their marriage was irreparably destroyed. Jeezy requested joint legal custody of their daughter, with the court's determination of the child's best interests serving as the final deciding factor. 8 days prior, Mai gushed on Instagram about Jeezy and his new biography becoming a New York Times bestseller, referring to him as her spouse in writing. "I'm endlessly grateful for your voice in this world. Honored to walk beside you and love." The filing followed that post. After dating for 2 years, the couple wed in March 2021, and their daughter Monica was born in January 2022. Returning to her program, it appears that other panelists from the renowned Warner Bros. The Real are not as fond of Mai. An insider at the daytime talk show previously said in 2018 that Tamara Mowry, Adrienne Bailon, Jeannie Mai, and Lonnie Love got into arguments over the sister star's lucrative paycheck. According to reports, Tamara made the highest money on the show, followed by Lonnie, who was paid second best. Adrienne and Mai were only given a third of the other women's incomes. After producers fired contentious host Tamara Braxton in 2016, everything on set had been going smoothly. But after the show's Emmy triumph in April 2018, things started to go south between coworkers. According to an insider, Jeannie and Adrienne began grumbling after they won the Emmy about how they were aware they weren't being paid equally to their fellow co-hosts Lonnie and Tamara. Even the idea of staging a walkout was discussed. They initially expected Tamara and Lonnie to help them in their effort to secure better terms on the show. So when both women declined, it was clear that boundaries had been formed. According to the source, Mai and Adrienne have even taken to calling their co-hosts the have and the have-nots, a play on the title of the Tyler Perry TV show that airs on the OWN network. They would refer to the difference in wages between them by that phrase. Tamara and Mai reportedly got into an abnormally angry argument on television in September 2018, while talking about the security of Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street due to friction over salaries that existed behind the scenes. But as a parent, I'm more interested in what you're teaching my kid. Are you demonstrating to my kids how to be amiable and develop wonderful friendships? That argument was all about the drama taking place behind the scenes and had nothing to do with whether two puppets were involved in a same-sex romance. According to the source, Tamara experienced a personal loss when Elena Housley, her married niece who was 18 years old, was killed in the borderline bar and grill massacre that occurred in Thousand Oaks, California, in November of that same year. She canceled her bereavement leave for 2 weeks. Mai and Adrian saw right away that the show's ratings increased by 13% the week the sister star left and experienced its strongest growth in more than a year. According to the source, Tamara makes the most money out of the four hosts, and the show's ratings increased while she was absent. How is she making the most money, and the show is going better without her being here? Both girls continued asking. They were able to use that as leverage to support their request for extra money. The three co-hosts were also miffed that Adam Housley, Tamara's husband, chose to speak with CBS News exclusively about the death of his niece rather than appear on his wife's show while she was away. Tamara gave them a text message, and they had to read it live while her husband is off explaining what happened to television cameras. He couldn't find the time to appear on the program where his wife works to give a speech, especially now that she is the only one working and he is unemployed. It was an insult to reality and just made the tension among the women worse. The insider revealed that after Mai declined to invite her co-host to her wedding with Jeezy, the hostility between the women grew even worse. After receiving criticism for being insensitive, Mai responded to the criticism in a YouTube video, stating that everyone's safety during the COVID-19 pandemic was their top priority, and that she and the rapper had to make compromises on their ideal guest list. Therefore, we arranged a very COVID-safe wedding at home, which meant that our nearest and dearest family and friends were seated at just a couple of tables in our living room. So, we held a very COVID-safe wedding at home. I mean, there were literally just a couple of tables of our closest relatives and friends seated in our living room. Folks that knew me and Jeezy had to be folks I grew up with, Mai said. The two guidelines were those. She said, Jay made my list, and I made his list. And we were adamant that you shouldn't be hosting events right now due to COVID. You shouldn't be endangering anyone's safety. We so agreed with our family that only those in our immediate family and our mutual friends would be invited. Adri, In, Garcelle, and Lonnie Love were invited, but Mai revealed that she had gotten in touch with them beforehand. She said that while I did phone them all in advance to let them know we were doing this, I didn't actually invite the ladies. They were the first to learn that we were holding a secret ceremony, and they remained silent throughout. Despite the fact that they were her co-workers and people she worked with every day, viewers were still curious about who her buddies were. That was my second marriage and I had my first child, although that was Jeezy's first marriage and he had his fourth child. Jeezy is a well-known rapper who has been active in the field since 1998. Despite having a murky past highlighted by a chaotic upbringing, drugs, and criminality, he has developed into a reputable rapper, businessman, and philanthropist. He grew up in Georgia. A quarter of the real daytime talk show was Mai. She began her work as a stylist and cosmetics artist for celebrities before transitioning to television in 2005 as an entertainment reporter and producer. She was reared in California and has Vietnamese and Chinese ancestry. When Jeezy arrived as a guest on the show in 2015 and 2016, Mai and Jeezy were introduced on screen. She was married, and Jeezy was dating at the time. After starting to date in November 2018, they became a recognized public couple in August 2019. March 2020 saw Jeezy pop the question to Mai. He had intended to fly her to Vietnam for the proposal, but the epidemic prevented that, so he brought Vietnam to their house instead. Jeezy reportedly postponed the wedding until December 2025. Mai revealed to ET in the same month that organizing a wedding was not their main priority. But in March 2021, 3 months later, the couple was married. IVF helped Mai become pregnant around a month before the wedding. But she miscarried soon after. She disclosed in Women's Health. She unexpectedly fell pregnant once more and joyfully announced the news to the world. Fans, however, are persuaded that the tough Mai is to blame for her marriage failure because their union ended abruptly. Mai was wed to her now ex-husband, Freddie Hardis. At the time, the makeup artist made crude jokes about having black eyes on the side. Jeezy later admitted that Mai started the topic about her comments that nearly destroyed her heart after going exclusive. She claimed that Jeezy then admitted that Mai started the discourse regarding her words, which nearly caused the internet to crash after they went exclusive. She's real, I'll tell you that. We discussed that before we even started dating. She seated me after our lengthy conversation. It was something I said, she explained, and it might have been misinterpreted. I want you to hear it all the way through. I did too. You guys appear to be journalists. Anyone is free to take what they desire. She has folks I know. She has family I know. I have never experienced racism. Jeezy went on to claim that he is an excellent judge of character and would not be with her if doing so would compromise his moral character.